Today was Flabébé Community Day in Pokemon Go. I got 15 shiny Flabébés. I got 9 yellow, 5 orange, and 1 white. And I could have had more. I had to juggle between working at the family store and trying my best to catch as many shinies as I could. And today it did get a little busy, so in being busy and trying my best to catch shinies, well, I unknowingly transferred 2 shiny Flabébés because I wasn't thinking clearly. Shit! Oh well, it is what it is. It was 2 yellow shiny Flabébés, and at the very least, the IVs weren't good. You know? I check the IVs before I transfer. At least now I do. And it was so hectic. And then the fact that I caught a shiny immediately left my head, so I transferred. And then I just keep on tapping. Where even the prompt that says, this is a shiny, are you sure you want to transfer? And I even blindly hit yes to that. And then I'm just like, oh shit, what did I just do? So that happened not once, but twice. I accidentally transferred 2 shiny Flabébés. So I got 15 today, I could have had 17. In reality, I traded 3 shinies from my sister's game, my sister's phone, because it doesn't matter if they're in her phone, it matters if it's in my game. She doesn't play, I play on her phone. Anyways, so I only got 1 white shiny Flabébé. I was hoping to get at least 2, maybe 3, that way I can have the entire line shiny in white. I only got 1, sadly. And I mostly focus on orange and white, since those ones are the quote-unquote rare ones. They're not the regional colors like red, blue, and yellow are. So I didn't really care that much about yellow, but naturally I would just get more of those. I got 9. Technically I got 11, but I transferred 2 by accident. So at first I was thinking I would just evolve the white Flabébé all the way to a Florges. But then I thought, you know what? This is probably the best chance I have to have 1 of each color shiny. So I decided I'm going to evolve my one and only shiny white flower. I'm going to evolve the best orange, the best IV orange color I have, which is the only shiny 3-star I got today. And then yellow, I don't know. And then it hit me. I don't have a red shiny whatsoever. I got a blue shiny when I went to Hong Kong. In fact, I got 2. I got 2 blue shinies. One of them was a double XL, so I evolved that all the way up to a Florges and best buddied it. Since, you know, blue's not regional to my area, and it was a double XL shiny. IVs were trash, though. So, the only regional... Or rather, the only color Flabébé I don't have in Pokemon Go is red. How ironic is that? My favorite color. I do have a 98 IV red Florges though, because I got it during Go Fest, but I didn't get the shiny. So maybe one day I'll get the red shiny. So yeah, Flabébé Community Day was today. And also today was Episode 2 of Daryl Dixon Season 3. However, I didn't watch it. I tried. I really tried. I sat down to watch it. But, would you believe, the moment I sat my ass down to watch it, my TV started spazzing out. My TV started to have issues right as I sat down to watch TV. To the point it was unwatchable, so I thought, ugh. You know what? I'll watch this another time, because clearly, if I want to do this tonight and watch the episode, I won't have time. So instead, I watched the second last episode of Arcane Season 2 before doing this, because I kind of didn't think I would have time to talk about that tonight. Tonight, I thought I would only have time to break down and discuss The Boys Season 4 finale, as well as Daryl Dixon. I thought I would only have time to discuss those two. But clearly not. So, Arcane, The Boys Season finale, as well as the Eyes of Wakanda episode from last time. So after all those three are out the way, that would mean next time I would only have the final episode of Arcane Season 2 and Eyes of Wakanda to discuss. Because we're done with The Boys. I am now all caught up with The Boys. All 4 seasons, Gen V, as well as the Diabolical spin-off. I just want to... You know what? No, I'll talk about that stuff when I talk about The Boys. So I want to mention first what the next slate of shows I'm going to discuss is. And, oh boy, it's a bit of a doozy. This is the first time this is going to happen. At least to this degree, to this level. So the next batch of shows I was going to watch... Originally, my plan was to watch 2 shows. And then discuss a bunch of other shows as they were coming out. But I didn't realize just how many shows were coming up. So I gotta reduce my numbers. I gotta really reconsider. Okay, so the original plan. Original plan was for me to watch Peacemaker Season 2 and Dead Boy Detectives. I was gonna watch both of those and break those episodes down. While I watch those 2, I break down other upcoming shows. But I didn't realize how many shows were coming up. So, slight change of plans. I think there was a 3rd show I was going to watch as well, that being Hell of a Boss. I was going to watch that too. But let me say first. The next batch of shows I'm going to watch is going to be shows that are all coming out within the next 2 months. So let me first start off by saying Eyes of Wakanda came out August 1st. So I'm almost done that. It took me a while, but, you know, almost done. Peacemaker Season 2 came out August 21st. If you recall, I was a little caught up around that time. I was kind of dealing with my own stuff at that time, so I couldn't start it. And then Daryl Dixon Season 3 started September 6th, so last week. Was it last week, or was that... Oh no, September 7th. Why do I have 6th written here? No. Daryl Dixon started last week on September 7th, so that's already started. The next handful of shows that are coming out, I didn't realize Gen V Season 2 is a mere days away. Season 2 of Gen V premieres September 17th, and today is September 14th. Gen V Season 2 is 3 days away. Marvel Zombies, September 24th. Spy X Family Season 3, October 4th. Has-Been Hotel Season 2, October 29th. So it is stacked. And I think Wonder Man, you know, another woke project, but that's besides the point. Wonder Man is coming out sometime in December. Okay, so basically that's the plan. Except, instead of Dead Boy Detectives, because I'm in no rush to watch that. I want to watch that before I watch Sandman Season 2, but it seems like those two will have to wait, because there's a whole bunch of shows coming out that I gotta cover. So instead of Dead Boy Detectives, I'm still gonna watch Peacemaker and break that down, since, yes, that started a couple weeks ago, but that's still ongoing. Season 2 hasn't finished yet. Okay, so my plan, the one show that is currently out, and I will talk about, while all these other shows are coming out, will be Hell of a Boss. I want to watch that before Has-Been Hotel Season 2, because we got a teaser for season 2 that showed a genuine crossover between Has-Been and Hell of a Boss. Like, the characters between the two shows would interact. So, I need to catch up. I have not seen any Hell of a Boss. I need to watch all of that before Has-Been Hotel Season 2. So that's what's coming up next. So I'm going to be talking about Hell of a Boss, and then, well, in a way, Peacemaker as well. Until I'm caught up and we need to wait for the next episode. So basically, to sum it up, I will be talking about Hell of a Boss, and then we will play by ear, I guess. As the episodes come out, I will talk about Peacemaker Season 2, Daryl Dixon Season 3, Gen V Season 2, Marvel Zombies, Spy X Family Season 3, Has-Been Hotel Season 2. That is if I even have time to break it all down. I could finish the Shiny Hunt before any of that happens. So it's not going to be kind of like beforehand where every time I do this I have an episode to discuss of a show. No, it could be like I break down one episode and then a week later, kind of like 3 of these later, I break down the next episode. So we'll play it by ear. It's going to be a mess, but hey, that's what happens when you have a crap ton of shows crunched together in a close together release window. But first, we gotta finish The Boys, gotta finish Arcane, as well as Eyes of Wakanda. And before I watch Peacemaker, I got something special to break down. Ahem, something that takes place before Peacemaker. So that's the plan. So basically, to lay out my slate for the next phase, today I will talk about the end of The Boys Season 4. I will break down the second last episode of Arcane Season 2, as well as Eyes of Wakanda. Next time will be the last episode of Arcane Season 2 and Episode 4 of Eyes of Wakanda. And then after that will be something special. And then I will begin Peacemaker and Hell of a Boss. Oh yeah, next time I'll probably break down Daryl Dixon as well, since that episode came out today, but I couldn't watch it, so I'll break it down next time. As well as the fact that Gen V, that might be 2 of these from now. We'll see. It's very hectic, it's gonna be very messy, but trust the process. I don't even know if I trust the process. But yeah, absolutely stacked. We got a bit of Marvel, we got a bit of DC, we have the Boys franchise. And then we have miscellaneous ones like Spy X Family and Has-Been Hotel. Oh. Oh yeah, by the way, about the TV not working earlier when I tried to watch Daryl Dixon. I swear, watch my family blame me again for that being the case. Remember the last time my TV went off the fritz and my family blamed me for breaking the TV? They said I was gaming on the TV too much and I burnt it out. So they pinned the blame on the TV breaking on me. But now, I don't really use that TV no mo. They watch TV shows on that TV all the time, every night. But still, watch them blame me. And of course it had to happen to me, because once again, that's what happens when you're the bitch of the family. You're the punching bag of the family. I'm basically the Meg Griffin of the family, as sad as that is. You know, the one time I try to sit down and watch a show, the TV goes haywire, and then, oh, it's your fault. You should have never came here to watch TV. Be gone. TV's only ours. Now, I did say beforehand that I'm done watching on the TV. You know, my family loves hoarding it. They love hating on me for using it. So I said, fine, screw you guys. I'm just never going to use the TV again. Well, can you blame a guy for simply just wanting to watch a television show on the TV? Is that so much of a sin? Is it so bad of me to ask, to desire to simply watch my program on the actual TV in the couch, rather than the computer monitor or my phone screen? Is that too much to ask? In this world, in this household, I guess so. I'm not allowed to use the TV. By their standards, by their rules of the house, I'm technically not allowed to. And then, when I actually do try to, because no one was using it tonight, so I had a golden opportunity to use it. No one's using it. Daryl Dixon's on. You know, I wanted to sit down on the couch and just watch it on the TV. But of course, the moment I try, the TV goes crazy. Not when my dad was using it literally 5 minutes before I sat down. No. The moment I try to use the TV, then it breaks. And then I bet you they're gonna blame me again. Oh yeah, one more quick thing. It turns out that the Gen 6 starters Mega Evolutions are gonna be paywalled. In Legend ZA, if you want your Mega Greninja, Mega Delphox, Mega Chestnut, you gotta have NSO. And you gotta do the online battles. So you can't get them normally in gameplay. You need to have the paid online subscription and do the actual matches. Yeah, Nintendo is greedy again. We need Reggie Fils-Aimé back. Why did Reggie ever leave Nintendo? He was great. And sadly, Iwata passed away. He was great too. Alright, so The Boys. Before I discuss the Season 4 finale, just a couple things I wanted to mention. So, I rewatched the clip from The Boys Diabolical, the final episode where we see Homelander's debut. I didn't realize that female character, that secretary lady, was Madeline. It was Madeline as, like, Homelander's spokesperson. And she was actually hitting on him. Remember that? I didn't realize it was Madeline. Madeline was caressing his chest and moving her hand down. It actually made Homelander uncomfortable. I didn't realize that was Madeline. Kind of crazy to think that she seduced the monster that would eventually kill her. And another thing too, if all the hints if all the evidence proves correct, Homelander might have just been 16 or 17 at that age. I think he might have been just 16 at that age. When he made his debut as the Homelander, he may have just been 16. I don't know how old Madeline Stillwell is compared to Homelander, but that may have been a no-no right there. And another thing too, so I thought about the previous episode with Tech Knight, and there was one thing Tech Knight said that really had me thinking. So Tech Knight, after he unmasked Webweaver as Huey, he was like, I know who you are, you're Huey Campbell. That line right there, that had me thinking. Maybe Huey and maybe the boys are pretty publicly known. And the reason I say this is because that stinking episode in Diabolical, the one where it's that guy reading a comic. And then we see Butcher and Huey, they stop that, they drug out that person to high heaven, and then he crashes and dies. Because when I tried to place that into the timeline, I was kind of thinking, like, it doesn't make sense anywhere. It's not the beginning. It might be the end of the timeline, it might not be. We have to see if Butcher survives or not. And then I was thinking, what if it's placed right there? Maybe the story, the plot of the episode's not canon, but it's just a guy in a comic book shop reading a comic book. It's someone in universe just simply reading a comic book, and we're seeing the story of that comic illustrated and animated. But if that was the case, then I have to ask, how well known are the boys to the public to the point Vought can make comic books and sell them about these characters, about these people in the world? Well, Tech Knight's saying that he knows who Huey Campbell is, despite this being the first time to interact, might tell me they're actually pretty well known in the world. Or, you know, they're not nobodies, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, around the end of season 1, weren't they fugitives on the news? Right? So the world knows about them. The world knows that, well, because Vought told them on the news, Vought told them that this group of criminals is trying to take down Vought and the Seven. So the public knows about them to a degree. So you know what? I might actually place that episode right there. Right there in the timeline. Right there as it came out. No beginning timeline, no end of the timeline. Maybe. Because I think that episode might really just be a guy in a comic book store reading a comic story. And that's it. I think it might be possible that the boys are actually well known to the public in this world. Maybe not recognizable when you see them walking across the street. But, you know, known enough to the point that anyone picking up a comic book will be able to see, oh, this group of characters, this person named Huey Campbell, this person named William Butcher, they thwart the plans of the Seven. So maybe I'm actually thinking to just place that episode in the timeline right there, alongside all the other episodes in Diabolical, cleanly between seasons 2 and 3. Just because it's simply a guy reading a comic book. The story of the comic's not canon. It's just a guy reading a story. So for now, I think I'll just place it in the timeline as is, as released. The comics are quite different from the show canon. The show is much better. Yeah, I did hear about that. I heard Black Noir is completely different in the comics. So if I'm right about this, the timeline is pretty simple to follow. Minus flashbacks and all that, you know, just standard episodes to watch in order. If you don't care about the comics, I can spoil it for you. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Who knows if it'll spoil the show? You know, every season of The Boys, I have absolutely no clue what's coming up. It won't? You never know. So, it's pretty simple, the timeline. Very first in the timeline, The Boys Diabolical Episode 8. The one where Homelander makes his debut. And then it's Season 1 of The Boys. Season 2. Diabolical Episodes 1 to 7. So not 8. And then Season 3 of The Boys. Gen V Season 1. The Boy Season 4, and then Gen V Season 2. It's a pretty simple timeline. The only thing that is out of place is the last episode of Diabolico. That's it. Everything else you just watch as is. Nice, clean timeline. No need to watch between episodes back and forth like the Arrowverse. No need to, watch... Well, actually, that's not the case. I was about to say no need to watch one season of this and then another season of that. No, we do here. At least now we do. Okay, so let's actually talk about the goddamn episode. So the Season 4 finale. Wow. How did the episode start again? Right. It started with Annie. And I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of nitpicks. Especially about that shape-shifting character. So I completely did not mention this when it happened a couple episodes ago. When Huey's dad just received the V and he seemed all fine, Huey's mom gave Huey her engagement ring to use on Annie. I completely didn't mention that. So this episode opens up by showing us the shapeshifter taking Annie's appearance. So, fake Annie comes out in a very blue floral dress, which even Huey finds a little off. But then, fake Annie proposes to Huey, and he's just like, hold on, give me a second, let me be right back. He goes and runs and grabs the ring that his mom gave, and then he does the same proposal to her. So they're quote-unquote engaged, and then they have celebratory sex. But just like Annie's, what? So fake Annie, she realizes that her skin is peeling because she can only hold a shape for so long. So she needs to go to real Annie's location to get a refresher. And in order to do that, well, she needs the car keys, and she picks up the car keys right away. We learn later in the episode that Huey thinks, that's weird. No matter how long, every single time, Annie takes like 15 minutes to find her car keys. But yet this time, she just found them right away. That's strange. Okay, I have to nitpick this. So, beforehand, previous episode, I completely forgot to question how did imposter Annie know the combination to the safe. I was going to bring up the question, does shape-shifting also allow you to inherit the memories? Well, this episode confirmed yes. So that's how fake Annie was able to open the safe. But the problem there is, if the imposter, the shapeshifter, copied all of Annie's memories and experiences, why the fuck would you make yourself so obvious and come out in a blue dress? You should have the memories to know Annie doesn't do that. She never does that. Why would you make yourself look out of place by doing that? I can give you a pass for the car keys. Maybe not really thinking about the fact that she can't ever find her car keys. I'll give you a pass on that. But to straight up just be like wearing clothes that she would not normally wear. Why would you do that? You should know she wouldn't do that. You should know she doesn't do that. Like, am I crazy? The shapeshifter should have known Annie does not wear clothes like that. The shapeshifter, for God's sake, the shapeshifter should have known that Annie doesn't even really like her Starlight costume, let alone a floral dress. So that's weird. I would have forgiven them if they wrote in a line that said like, Annie, why are you wearing that dress? I remember you like me in this dress, and I wanted to put it on for this special occasion. Huey Campbell, will you marry me? Something like that. If they wrote something like that in, then it would have been no problem, but they didn't. They wrote no such thing. So, I don't know, it's kind of a... if you think about it, it's like, wait a second. So anyways, I'm not gonna lie, it took until this episode for it to basically break down the entire plot line for me to understand. The handful of episodes before, I kinda was lost about the overarching story, like the main goal. It took this episode to just spell it all out for me to understand, oh, that's what we were building up to. So, what I did not get, the story I did not pick up on, President-elect Singer and President-elect Victoria Newman are fighting for presidency. Homelander and them are planning to assassinate Singer so that, well, he's out of the race and Victoria Newman can be appointed president by default, which, is that really how it works? Is that really how it works? So, if they assassinate Singer, the smelly, disgusting human, then this soup president, which by the way, the world doesn't know she's a soup, can pass all these legislations for soups, thus giving them power, thus internment camps for humans. So that's basically the plot. Homelander wanted to start a coup and get Singer killed. So that was basically the main plot line, the main goal of this season, which I guess I completely just missed because this season has been an absolute mess. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, the season was an enormous mess in the beginning. The first half of the season was horribly paced. Second half was better, but maybe I'm just stupid. The plot just wasn't all that clear to me. Okay, so... Huey gets a call from Victoria Newman saying that she wants out. The cycle of hate and violence just doesn't end. So, she asks Huey for help. She's just like, I will drop out of the race peacefully. Wait a second, I'm going way ahead. Wait, there's an entire storyline that I forgot to mention. Put a cork in that for a second. So, oh, that's right. This episode, for some reason, there was absolutely no point of this being in the episode besides giving us one of the best gifs ever of Homelander. Firecracker starts coughing in this episode for no reason. Is she sick? Did she get infected by the airborne virus? Nope! She just starts coughing for some reason. And what relevance did that have to the plot? Absolutely nothing. She, not gonna lie, she looked terrible. Her eyes were sunken in, she had bags, she looked ill. By the end of the episode, she was fine. So what was the point of that? But yeah, Firecracker starts coughing and then Homelander goes from this smile to disgusted look. One of the best gifs ever of him, besides, you know, the side-eye meme. God, I love these Homelander memes and finally knowing the context behind them. Knowing the context makes it even better. So, on the news broadcast, oh shit, I'm going through this episode backwards. Okay, quickly, Homelander cleans up Ryan's mess. He finds the picture of Butcher, Becca, and the Bulldog, and then Homelander goes on this rage fit where he burns everything down. You know, he's jealous that Ryan might like Butcher more than his own father, yada yada yada. So that kind of ticks off Homelander. During the live broadcast interview, Homelander is so fed up, he just announces to the world Victoria Newman is a soup. And then to prove it, he laser visions her and it does not affect her. So people know that she is soup-abled. Frenchie is working on the soup virus from the leg that was hacked off of Kimiko. Remember how last time I questioned if Kimiko can regenerate her leg? Or if she's just gonna be missing a leg from now on? Nope, she has her leg back. No problem there. She can just regenerate limbs. I wonder what happens if you chop off her head. You know? So, yep, Kimiko's fine. And Frenchie is re-engineering the virus from her severed leg. And they need that virus because it may not be powerful enough to kill Homelander, but it could kill Victoria Newman. Which, speaking of which, back to what I said earlier, now that Victoria Newman is exposed, Homelander threatens her if she doesn't comply and do everything she says, so she calls Huey and is like, I want out, I will come to you peacefully. So they need that soup virus in case, in case she goes back on her word. Annie, I'm going all over the place with talking about this episode. Annie, she gets visited from fake Annie. Ooh, it's got a sting to see the ring on the wrong finger, on the wrong person. And goddamn, out of sheer will, Annie releases herself from her shackles the way Eren Yeager did. Just pure force, doesn't care if it peels off all the skin as long as you just get out. I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, now that Victoria Newman's exposed, there's a ploy to assassinate President-elect Singer, so he's in this deep underground bunker. And it's like, report every 5 minutes. We don't know if the shapeshifter's in here. Well, pretty on the nose there, writers. The last clue to really tick off to Huey that Annie is the imposter, cue Among Us music, is that she said, it's hot in here, it's like a furnace. I don't know, I find it kind of stupid that the imposter would say that, but whatever. So Huey remembers the imposter said that when they first encountered, and then he starts to piece together all of the strange things that Annie has been doing, out of character for her. So then they realize that Annie is the imposter. So, a fight happens. Oh yeah, also in the bunker, inside the bunker, Singer said something like, had you just killed Victoria Newman like I said, like I ordered, we would not be in this mess right now. Keep that in mind for later. So the imposter goes crazy, just kills a bunch of the guards, the extras in this episode. She even uses her teeth and bites the neck of one of them. Damn, that is some Walking Dead style death right there. Although, once again, and you're gonna hear me say this about something else in this episode, believe me, the deaths, I can't lie, they're a little underwhelming. Come on! Like the shapeshifter biting the neck off of that guy. That's it? Nothing? No struggle? No cry of pain? Nothing? You just get your neck bitten off and you're just silent. Seriously? For God's sake, look up Sebastian Milton's death. How brutal that was. Or what about the death of that riot I guess that's SWAT team guy. Fear the Walking Dead Season 1. Where the riots were happening, there was a dude in a SWAT uniform getting his neck torn off. How horrific the screams were. Like, come on! The deaths in the show look great, visually are amazing, but they're just so fast. They happen so fast, you don't even really have time to react, and the characters dying, no reaction. No struggle for life, no screams of agony, nothing! It's like, what the fuck? I might be the only person in the world who is underwhelmed by the deaths, the level of gore in The Boys. Like, I might be the only person who's a little disappointed. So anyways, so Rio Annie shows back up just in time. How the hell did she know where they were? Don't know. It's not even answered where she was. She was just chained up in this room somewhere. Was it close by to the presidential bunker? Don't know. How did she know Singer would be locked in a bunker? Don't know. How did she show up just in time to fight off her imposter? Don't know. She just happened to show up at the perfect timing. So, she fights the imposter, and I guess she killed the imposter because she choked her out, and then she said she pried the ring off of her dead finger. So I guess the imposter's dead? Well, they get touched up, Annie's hands get bandaged, and then she's mad at Huey for unknowingly cheating on her. Which also, like, oof, I didn't know it went this far. So it turns out Annie's been missing or replaced for like 20 days. That's almost 3 weeks. And Huey reveals that they did have sex, like, couldn't be more than 20 times? That's almost like once a night. In his defense, he didn't know it was her. So before we continue with this storyline, we have another storyline that happened on the side with Butcher. Butcher's in the hospital. He's on death's door. He's hallucinating Kessler. Mallory shows up to visit him. Cool, cool. Ryan shows up to visit him. Alright, cool. There was also the scene where it was a big surprise, especially for this show. Normally this show is just so fast-paced, so much going on. You don't really have a lot of moments for downtime. There's this scene where Butcher and Huey are on a phone call, and the camera just lingers on Butcher's face. It just slowly zooms in, no music, no anything. It's just Butcher talking on the phone to Huey. It was so out of place that it was great. It just showed how important this moment is for Butcher. Him knowing that his time is almost up. He wants Butcher wants Huey to make him a promise. Some sort of steakhouse on a roof that he and his brother Lenny were gonna go to. He wants Huey to go to that for him, for them. So Huey promises that he will, for his friend Butcher. To me, that was a powerful scene. Not because of anything, you know, hard-hitting being said, but it was just, you never expect to see a character like William Butcher in this position. No music, no camera cuts, no anything. One shot, one take, just Butcher. And my sister just came home. I heard the car outside. So Ryan shows up, they play Connect 4, and then Mallory gets word that... Oh wait, has that happened yet? Well, whatever. Mallory gets word that something has gone bad. There was an assassination attempt on Singer, but it failed, blah blah blah. So they break down to Ryan everything, which I feel like was a stupid ass move, because just look at what happened. So Mallory spills everything to Ryan, I'll say again, rather stupidly. She tells Ryan the assassination attempt on Singer, that was ordered by your father. That plane, that flight from season 1, your father killed every soul on that plane. And he's killed so many more too, Ryan. And then, stupid Mallory, she just blurs this out to Ryan. She's just like, your mother wasn't having an affair with Homelander. He raped her. It's like, why would you tell him that? Why? The reason that she told Ryan this is because she believes if they train Ryan, borderline weaponizing him, then he might have a chance to take on Homelander, to kill Homelander. But, understandably so, this is a lot of information for Ryan. Ryan knew his father was, a little unhinged at times, but he didn't know about all of these crimes that his father did. He didn't know that he was borderline an accident, or never meant to be. And now she's asking, Now she's asking him to become a weapon, a soldier, to kill his own father. So, understandably, Ryan wants to leave to think all of this over. And then he realizes, wait, this hospital room, the walls are like it's not 6 inches thick. It's like really thick. They can lock him in there. So Ryan pieces together, you want to weaponize me to kill my own father, and you brought me here to trap me here. So Ryan wants to leave, but the Mallory's like, I can't let you. She stands in his way, dumbass. Shouldn't Mallory have remembered? Don't you know what happens when you corner an animal? It'll eventually fight back. Especially a moody teen flooded with information, and especially a super abled one. God damn it, Mallory. If she was smart, she would have just moved aside and let him leave. It cost her her life. Because Mallory refusing to leave, about to push a button to lock him in, Ryan uses his super speed, pushes her with so much might, she bashes into the wall and her neck breaks. Grace Mallory is now dead. Dumbass. But, yeah, Ryan leaves and the death of Mallory pushes Butcher to the edge, where he still sees Kessler and he just smiles. Okay, so Victoria Newman meets up with the boys. Frenchie has his 1 dose of virus ready to go in case. Oh yeah, oh yeah, there was also this speech Huey made about forgiveness instead of vengeance and blood and killing. So he convinces the rest of the team to actually give Victoria Newman a chance. Despite all the bad she's done, well, they've all done bad as well. That's a nice shiny. Happens to the best of us, I guess. I didn't reset over it, did I? You scare me every time you say stuff like that. I swear to God, did I actually? Was I too busy blabbering about the show I missed the shiny? So Frenchie and Kimiko have a discussion. They begin to forgive themselves slowly. And then Kimiko, she's just like, remember how I said I wanted you to be with Colin so that you would be happy? Well, I lied. I thought you would be happy with someone better than me. Then Frenchie's just like, no one's better than you, Kimiko. So they finally kiss, and they finally hook up. While I'm happy to see these characters finally hook up, they wasted an entire entire season for this. They absolutely wasted an entire season's worth of these characters. End of season 3, they teased that Frenchie and Kimiko would be together in the next season. Beginning of this season, Frenchie is suddenly with this Colin guy who, 1, we never met before, 2, we never heard that Frenchie killed this guy's family before, and 3, and I guess 4, Frenchie never showed any signs of being gay, of being interested in guys. So now that I have seen the whole picture, they made this stupid storyline to make Frenchie feel so much guilt that it would have driven him away from everyone, including Kimiko, to the point where they reunite. Kimiko can help him process his grief, his guilt, because they can process their guilt together. What a waste of storyline. Imagine this for a second. Imagine end of season 3, they teased Frenchie and Kimiko together. Beginning of season 4, they are together, but Frenchie begins to process his grief, his guilt, to the point it distances himself from not only the rest of the team, but especially Kimiko, to the point he starts to push her away. He turns himself into the authorities, and then Kimiko, pretty much the rest of the storyline plays the same. It would have had no need for Colin, no need for Frenchie to be gay out of nowhere. It's like, what a waste of time. They wasted this entire storyline, this entire season for these two characters. And you want to know what the worst part is? The way the season ended with our two characters. I would say season 5, since season 5 is said to be the last season. Season 5 might be the only time we truly get to see Frenchie and Kimiko together as a couple. Might be season 5 only. Maybe not the way after season 4 ends. So we could have had season 4 really show these two together as a couple. And then season 5, Season 4 ends the same way. Season 5 shows them separated. God damn it, writers. Anyway, so after Frenchie and Kimiko finally end up together, made me wait 4 goddamn seasons for it. Victoria Newman shows up. There's peace. But then peace is broken because Butcher shows up out of nowhere with the biggest oi of your life. And then he just literally tosses Frenchie... Not Frenchie. He tosses Huey aside. And then with his Slender Man tentacles, not coming out of his back like I thought, but coming out of his chest, he just grabs Victoria Newman, as well as flings away Zoe. And then she just... Butcher just rips her in half. And then she's dead. Call me crazy. I'm a little disappointed. I am so disappointed. For so long, I've seen this thumbnail on YouTube, and I've seen the title, Butcher brutally kills Victoria Newman. I was expecting something brutal. I was expecting to be disgusted. And I just walked away from that scene disappointed. It's like, that's it? Once again, the same problem. It happened so fast. So fast. It was instant and then it was over. I was kind of expecting, based on the title, brutally kills Victoria Newman, I was kind of expecting him to like rip off limb by limb. Maybe pop her head with the pressure. But it just happened so fast and it was over. Remember in season 11 of The Walking Dead when that guy got ripped in half? How horrific that was? Victoria Newman, it was instant. Now, I don't remember what movie this is. It was some sort of horror movie. Someone let me know. There's this movie out there where I think a bunch of people go into like this haunted woods. This one, I think, chubby guy, he got separated. And then the woods grab him. Like there are these vines that grab his arms and legs and just keep on pulling. And keep on pulling. And just keep on pulling. Until, you know, the body just rips apart. Limb by limb. I don't remember what movie that is. Well, Victoria Newman's dead. I question a lot of things about this. One, was this Butcher? Or was it Joe Kessler in control? Two, how is Butcher alive? He was dying the last scene we saw him. And now he looks fine. And he now has a totally different soup power. Remember, when he took Temp V, he had laser eyes. But now he has this. Frenchie said, "You took V. If I shoot you with this virus, it will kill you." So I don't know. Was Butcher miraculously healed? Did he take genuine Compound V to save his life? Unexplained. But yeah, Butcher does look fine now for some reason. Well, now news broke out that Victoria Newman's dead. Oh yeah, another storyline. So, a little bit of chaos happening over at Vought Tower. Homelander orders Ashley to get a list of every staff worker in Vought Tower that has any sort of dirt on the Seven. So Ashley gets that list, and Homelander, with his meeting of the Seven, orders all of the people on this list be taken out. The Deep is just like, shouldn't Ashley be at the top of this list? It's like, good idea, Deep. Put Ashley on the list. Alright. I think he spells Ashley wrong. I think instead of spelling her name with an E-Y, he spells her name with a double E at the end. And then he's just like, does anyone know Ashley's last name? So, Ashley now knows that the Seven are going to do some house cleaning with their staff members. And Ashley is on the top of that list. So, Ashley runs for dear life. She goes into Homelander's room and injects herself with Compound V. So, everyone reacts to Compound V differently. She screams in pain. She screams more in pain than people actually dying do on the show. She screams in pain and then her weave falls off her head. Her wig comes off. It's really easy to forget she's bald. And you kind of can't blame her. Because remember, Ashley is CEO of Vought. All of Vought. You know how many moving parts Vought has? The stress alone of that would make anyone lose their hair. And then she also has to worry for her life every waking moment. She never knows if Homelander's gonna kill her, if anyone in the Seven's gonna kill her. She needs to worry for her life every single moment. So, no wonder she lost all her hair. Poor lady. Let's hope Compound V can make her hair grow back. You know? Maybe it can. Maybe she'll have hair powers like Sindel. So yeah, Ashley injects herself with Compound V to save her life. The rest of the 7 are clearing house. Deep, he makes this one poor guy be like, you want to live? Tell me I'm the best member of the 7. Tell me I'm the smartest member of the 7. You're only saying this because you're afraid for your life, aren't you? Well, Deep is just like, okay, that's enough for me. You can go. And then Deep just punches him straight through the face. Straight through the face, Mortal Kombat fatality style. And then we also see Black Noir. He killed other Ashley. Last time I even questioned what happened to other Ashley. Nope, nothing, she was fine. She was in this episode until Black Noir killed her. You wanna know what else I forgot to mention from the last episode? When they were fighting Noir and the Deep, I mentioned Noir is narcoleptic. But one thing I did not mention is the fact that this new Black Noir, he can fly. Out of nowhere, he can fly. That also was never established in this entire season. So the writers at the very end of the season decided, hey, let's make this Black Noir interesting and different from the original. He's narcoleptic and he can fly. He just hasn't shown either of them the entire season. Yeah. So anyways, news breaks out that Victoria Newman's dead. So that technically President Singer should be elected president by default. So Homelander felt like he lost, but then Sister Sage walks in for some reason. She's saying, we won, let's celebrate. It turns out, lazy writing style, she knew all of this was going to happen. So the imposter that Sage hired, who was in the room with President-elect Singer, as he said, if you killed Newman like I ordered, then we wouldn't be here. Well, the imposter, the shapeshifter, got that on footage and got it to Sage somehow. And now that is being broadcasted to the whole world. So, Victoria Newman's dead. President-elect Singer is, I guess, dropped out of the race, taken out the race by default, because it looks like he ordered the murder of his running candidate. So there's no president-elects for the position of president. So now there's this other guy who takes over, who is a supporter of Homelander. So Sister Sage planned all of this. She knew everything wrong would happen. She planned all of it. Well, that's once again a trope of writing genius characters who knew everything, knew every outcome, and knew how to play along. Well, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But yeah, she basically reassured Homelander to trust me next time, because I knew all of this would happen. I knew you would kick me out, blah blah blah. It's like, next time, just listen to me. Homelander's like, next time? It's like, hell yeah, there's gonna be a next time. So the new president, whatever his name is now appointed to office, and he supports Homelander. So Homelander, he gets diplomatic immunity, I guess. The new president guy, he basically says all soups out there will report directly to Homelander, and you will have like authoritative power. So, the thing that our characters have been trying to prevent this whole time, it's happening. It's happening. Homelander's in charge. Soups can do whatever they want. Internment camps for human beings, here we come. So now, our characters need to go on the run, because they know Homelander's coming for their asses. So our characters have to split up and try their best to stay alive, not be arrested. Huey and Annie go off on their own. Frenchie and Kimiko and MM, he goes to the airport trying to go see his wife and daughter. Frenchie and Kimiko, they go to this freighter ship looking to want to sneak on and just sail away to somewhere else. Huey and Annie, they just drive off to who knows where. And then one by one, they're each ambushed. MM is ambushed by Love Sausage, the guy with the souped dick. Yo, MM just can't get away from this guy. For God's sake. So, MM is arrested in the airport bathroom by this man's meat. Huey and Annie, they are driving, but then a ship, a literal boat, falls in the way. They crash. Huey gets taken away. And Annie, as she gets out the car, she's met with that one character who escaped Sage Grove. Remember that? I questioned that all the way back in, I think, Season 2. When the Sage Grove episode happened, one inmate escaped. I've been wondering this whole time what happened to that character. And here she is. I guess working for Vought and Homelander now? That still doesn't answer the question where she's been this whole time, what she's been doing this whole time, but at least the writers remembered her. That's something. Well, Annie knows that she's outnumbered and can't win, so she makes a hasty retreat. She flies up, and she flies away. While Huey has no choice but to be arrested, and who knows what's gonna happen to him. Frenchie and Kimiko, they get ambushed by Sam and Kate. Sam overpowers Kimiko. You know how crazy that is? We've seen how crazy strong Kimiko is, and Sam can overpower her. And then Kate, she mind controls Frenchie. So Kimiko, restrained by Sam, has no choice but to just simply watch Frenchie walk away with Kate. And here we hear for the very first time, genuinely, Kimiko speak. She screams no as Frenchie gets taken away. This is the first time we've ever heard Kimiko's voice legitimately. Not laughing as she's about to kick Stormfront's ass. Not in that dream musical sequence. No, this is the first time we really hear Kimiko speak. And it's heartbreaking. That's why I say they wasted their entire storyline this season. Because it doesn't seem like these two are going to reunite. At least not early on in Season 5. And who knows how much screen time we'll get of these two being together. So imagine if Season 4, we actually got to see Frenchie and Kimiko be together. Imagine that. Because it doesn't seem like we're gonna get really any of that in Season 5. God damn it, writers. And then over all of this, we hear Firecracker say her bullshit speech about, like, power and justice returning to America. The pedos that worship Starlight, they're all gone now. This is a new age for America. Praise Homelander, whatever. And then in that montage, now that Victoria Newman's dead, we see Zoe go to Red River. Why? Why? Why wouldn't you just go with her father, Samir? What? Why would Zoe go to Red River? Because there was a line earlier in the episode where when Victoria was on the phone call with Huey, she said some information, and that tells Huey that Samir got back with her and told her everything. So they know Samir's alive. Where is he? Victoria Newman's death was all over the news, so surely Samir would have had to seen that. Why would he not take custody of his own daughter? There's one thing to say like they wanted to keep Zoe's father a secret for some reason, but like there's no better time to come out and proclaim you are this child's biological father, you deserve custody of her, when her mother, a politician, was just killed. So why is Zoe going to Red River of all places? Why isn't she just staying with her father? Whatever. There's your very long-winded breakdown of the season 4 finale. And I like how it also somewhat sets up Gen V Season 2 coming out in a mere 3 days from now. It also explains why in the trailer for Season 2 we see Annie and only Annie. So we're gonna see Annie in Season 2 of Gen V at Godolphin for some reason. Oh yeah, something that... Well, this isn't the job of the boys to to establish or explain. This is more the job of Gen V to explain. Kate has her arm back. The boys never explained that. So I'm expecting Gen V to explain how Kate has her arm back. You know, since Marie kind of exploded her arm. Yeah, there you go, the boys. I am now all caught up. And I mean all caught up. All 6? 4 seasons of The Boys, 1 Diabolical, 1 Gen V. All 6 seasons of this franchise so far, I am all caught up. I'm ready for Gen V Season 2, I'm ready for the other spin-offs. Vought Uprising, The Boys, what was it, Mexico? Any news on when those are gonna come out, by the way? Did I forget anything about this? Oh, right, there was an end credits stinger. Where it showed Soldier Boy in like cryo state? I was also wondering where the hell is Soldier Boy this entire season? The last time we saw him, canonically, was the end of Season 3 when he kind of kamikazed off of Vought Tower. We did see him in Gen V, but that was a dream sequence, so that wasn't really Soldier Boy. So I was questioning, where the hell is Soldier Boy? And another thing too, Season 4 had tons of time jumps. Just the last 2 episodes, we time jumped to Christmas, and then it looks like we time jumped to well after Christmas, because it's the frickin' presidential ballot counting. So there's plenty of time jumps. Soldier Boy has been missing that entire time, and over on the Gen V side, our characters, Marie, Jordan, Emma, they've been locked up in who knows where for a very long time. And I would say Andre, but sadly Chance Perdomo passed away, so they're writing into the story of Season 2, something happened to Andre. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Andre's character. Did I miss anything about this episode? Well, I see here on Google's AI overview, there is currently no official release date for The Boys prequel series VOT Uprising. However, given that The Boys is finishing with its 5th season in 2026, the prequel is expected to be released by Prime Video in late 2026 or early 2027. So we still got quite a ways away before VOT Uprising. What about Mexico? Eric Kripke says The Boys Mexico has a totally different tone as he shares update. What the hell is this? Never mind. I'm seeing something about a 9th episode of season 4, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Wow, we've been listening to Space Junk for an hour? Okay, let's go over Arcane, Season 2, Episode 8. The second last episode of Season 2. So this episode opens up with Mel somehow breaking free of her shackles, her chains, from the Black Rose. And how? She suddenly just has golden light powers, golden markings on her body. Turns out she's a mage. Okay. And she's... I don't even know where this is. It's not established. It's not said where. She has this brand new, very cleavage-showing outfit. I'm not complaining. So, there's this other person, a sorceress, who was the one who, took Mel initially. And she wants to basically recruit Mel to go up against what her mother set in motion. Also, I noticed that throughout the past couple episodes, they said the Arcane is waking. Jace, I think, even said to... No, Victor even said to Jace, you have touched the Arcane. And Arcane, in the subtitles, is capitalized. So I don't know what the Arcane is. In universe, that is. So, after the battle at the end of the last episode, Noxians are grieving... Magic. Noxians are grieving that big dude who Warwick, killed. And then they seem to be working on something to help Victor, because when Jace blasted Victor, it seems like he was dead. But now it looks like Revik has some sort of plan to help Victor, and in exchange, they want Victor to, I guess, upgrade all of their soldiers. Because that's what Mbessa wants Victor to do. She wants him to upgrade her entire army. Well, we also see a small little flashback to how they escaped. We saw Jace reunite with them, and then they escaped. Now, I really question, once again, how much time has passed. Because Vi's hair is back to red. What, did they wash out the black hair dye? Or did her natural red hair color grow out? And I think we learned this big character's name. His name is Loris. I swear to God, his name was not mentioned once in any prior episode. I had no idea who this new big guy's name was. Well, Vi wakes up after who knows how long. And Loris breaks the news to Vi of what happened. It turns out Caitlyn arrested Jinx. So she's obviously all pissed because Jinx saved her life despite the fact that Caitlyn wouldn't do the same. Probably would not do the same. But it turns out that after the fight, Jinx just surrendered herself. Caitlyn didn't even have time to react or anything before the other enforcers just dragged her away to jail. So Caitlyn then goes to see Jinx in jail, and holy shit, I did not know Jinx's hair was this long. We see her hair down and unbraided. It covers so much of the floor. It is so long. I can't say it rivals Rapunzel's hair, but still, she has a lot more hair than I expected. And you know what? It is kind of crazy. I never really thought to see what Jinx looks like with her hair down. Well, Jinx is pretty torn up by Isha's death from the last episode. They don't really bring it up at all in the episode. No one who doesn't know what happens, Vi, she doesn't ever question where she is, actually. Jinx and Caitlyn themselves don't bring up, hey, what happened to that kid? Oh, she dead? Oh. They don't ever bring that up. But then again, I don't know how much time has passed. Alright, so Jace and Mel reunite inside their little counselor room. And Jace is able to realize, well, now that Mel has a different look, Jace is able to realize it's because of her that they survived that day. End of season 1, where Jinx attacked the Capitol, all of the council members died except for them. And it was because of Mel and her unawakened mage powers. Jace kinda, unrightfully questions, why just me? Why didn't you save them all? As if she chose to only save him. Unless she did. Unless she knew she could only save one person and she chose Jace. But clearly that's not the case. She didn't even know she had mage powers. Oh yeah, another thing. Jinx told Caitlyn that she didn't know her mother was there. Probably would not have made a difference, but she didn't know. So as Jace is talking to Mel, he gets these weird flashes, and then he's able to realize there's something else in this room. He blasts one of the pillars, and then out comes this, I don't know, this like sentinel droid that Victor is controlling. So So Jace tries his best to fight, but all Jace wants to do is talk. What? But all Victor wants to do is talk. You know, they tried to have a discussion. It's sad to see these two best friends, former partners, driven to enemies. Not really enemies built on hate, but, you know, beliefs. Jace has seen the future, and the fact that Hextech can destroy all of Piltover. And Victor, now ascending to some sort of godhood with his technology, sees all the good that he's doing. So they try to talk it out, but they can't seem to get to an understanding, an agreement, so they have no choice but to fight. Victor is about to kill Jace. That thing moves ridiculously fast. But Mel is able to save Jace at the last moment. Yeah. Well, Jinx hallucinates Silco, going back and forth about the cycle, the endless cycle of pain and death. Well, I feel like they kind of skipped over some stuff, because Vi shows up and she's just like, I swiped the keys from the guard. Oh, sorry, the guard station. So it's like, really? Just missed all that? Okay, she just shows up with the keys out of nowhere. So she asks Jinx, use all of that stuff for good. Jinx just says, sure. So Vi goes in to hug, and then Jinx just double crosses her. Is able to move fast and lock Vi in there. So now, Jinx is free, but Vi is still trapped in there, is locked in there. And Jinx, well, she's now gonna go off and do something. She claims she's going to end the cycle. And we don't see her again for the rest of the episode. Jace gathers high-profile characters from all over, not just top side, but also bottom as well. Piltover, Zaun, he gathers like the leaders of everywhere and pleads to them that a war is coming. This Hextech Sentinel thing was just one creature of probably hundreds that are coming. They're fast, they're deadly, and this will be a war. So he pleads for all of them. Differences in beliefs or not. We have to unite and fight this war that's coming. You can flee if you like, but if you flee, keep running. So we see the citizens of Piltover, Zaun, everywhere evacuate, because they know a war is coming against Hextech. And also, because we now know that these Hextech droids are the Noxian army, upgraded by Victor's Hextech. And it also seems like, aside from the army being upgraded, it looks like Revik is transferring Victor's consciousness into Warwick. So it seems like Vander's consciousness is overwritten. Vander is essentially dead. He's gone. He's no longer in Warwick. But Victor now is. Because when Mel approached her mother, when Mel approached Ambessa, she asked what happened to Kino. And yada yada yada. Ambessa shows her daughter just what she has done. She created an army that has no fear of death. Because Victor upgraded them all. And it seems like during the upgrade, Victor lost Sky again. So Sky's consciousness looks like she's no longer with Victor. Looks like Sky is dead. Truly. And of course, how can I not mention the scene where where Caitlyn lets Vi out of jail. But they finally hook up, they do a lot of making out, they lose the clothes, and then, you know, there's some pussy eating happening. More woke stuff. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty hot to see these two make out, but still. And then Vi is just so goddamn muscular. She really does not really resemble any woman physique, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, her back muscles are what people make jokes about Michelle Obama over. And of course they strategically place their arms over their chests so we don't get to see any nips. It doesn't even look like Vi has any breasts. Then again, am I overanalyzing this? And I'm just thinking, like, is this really the right time for this? You're in a jail cell where anyone could walk in at any time, I guess. But I guess if they know a war is coming, which I don't think if they do, I guess if some sort of calamity is coming, then they may as well come themselves before they don't get the chance to together anymore. There you go. There's your breakdown of this episode. You're welcome. Up next, we got the season finale. Oh, right, something else in Pokemon Go today. I got a Hundo Celio. I got a Hundo Celio today. Pretty cool. Sadly, my sister wasn't around. Otherwise, I would have caught the same Hundo on her phone. You know, I'm best buddying all of the Hundos and the one Nundo in her game because I need something to best buddy to get the shiny Jirachi on her phone. So yeah, I got a Hundo Celio today. This Pokemon Concierge event going on right now shows a lot of Celios in the wild. I catch them because they're great Stardust. They give 300 Stardust each, and they're relatively easy to catch, as well as pretty easy to get excellent throws. Okay. Okay, so let's go over Eyes of Wakanda episode 3. So this episode takes place around 1400, my mistake, 1400 BC. So it's been about 200 years since the last episode during the Trojan War. We meet our character, Basha, and he is leaving China. Is it even China? Because I see here on Wikipedia, it's Kunlun. But I think it was just China. Whatever. I think Kunlun is in China, but then again, wasn't it like another dimension, kinda? Wasn't Talo? Was it called Talo? Whatever. So Basha has infiltrated China, or Kunlun, because he's there to retrieve, you guessed it, vibranium artifacts. So, Basha is a pretty impulsive character, I guess. A very energetic, impulsive character. You're gonna go to bed? Alright. Talk to you later. So, the vibranium artifact is the tongue of a dragon statue, but Basha can't seem to remove the tongue. So he just takes the whole statue. He gets spotted. Oh wait, before I say that, the episode wakes up. The episode opens up with Basha waking up next to a woman. But it pans over to her as if she has some sort of importance. So yeah, Basha, instead of just taking the tongue because he can't remove it, he takes the entire statue. He gets caught stealing, so he runs for life. Runs down the snowy mountains where he has a goddamn ship. An actual functioning flying aircraft. It looked like an R-wing, an air wing. Something you see out of like Star Wars or Star Fox. So, even in 1400 AD, did I say BC before? No, now it's AD. Whatever, it's still been 200 years. So 1400 AD, Wakanda already has flying aircraft technology. So yeah, he flies back to Wakanda. But it turns out someone actually was a stowaway on Basha's ship. It's an Iron Fist. It's a female Iron Fist. And she's easily able to take down all of Wakanda's warriors, I guess. It's revealed that this Iron Fist is Girani. Her name is Girani, the same woman that Basha woke up next to. She knew. We get a flashback. She rescued Basha because he was a lost traveler in the snowy mountains. She rescued Basha. They grew close. But Basha revealed his true agenda, stole the dragon statue, and fled back to Wakanda. Girani knew something was up with Basha, so she snuck on board his ship, where she's also flown back to Wakanda. There's also this character Ebo, who is like the commander, I guess. Whatever. He doesn't really play that much of a role. So they chase, and it's also established that all the way back in 1400 AD, they had those vibranium trains that we saw in the Black Panther movie. The underground vibranium trains, they already had that in 1400 AD. So they fight, they talk, they go into the weapons room, they keep on fighting and talking. Oh yeah, Girani also said that she is the immortal Iron Fist because she fought the dragon Shou Lao, plunged her fist into the dragon's molten heart, and became protector of Kunlun, the Iron Fist. That's pretty huge, because the dragon Shou Lao is the same dragon in the Iron Fist Netflix show. That's the same dragon that thousands of years from now, Danny Rand would do the same. He will plunge his fist into the dragon's molten heart and gain the power of the immortal Iron Fist. It's the same name, it's the same dragon. And we do know that the Iron Fist Netflix show is canon, thanks to Daredevil being canon. We're also going to get Jessica Jones back in season 2 of Born Again. So big W's there, big, huge. So they keep talking. Basha realizes that he's an impulsive shit. And so they decide to try to work together. To the point where even Ebo tries to help Jirani. Like, we will try to help her escape as well. So they come up with the plan. Because Jirani's only there for the statue, not the tongue of the statue, which is what Basha wants. Basha wasn't able to remove the tongue from the rest of the statue, so what Jirani does is she just goes ahead and does it. I don't know if you need the Iron Fist to remove it, but she just flawlessly, effortlessly just plucks the tongue out the statue and was like, here, you can take this. I just want the statue. So the weapons room, or the treasures room, is all trashed, and the top guy, I guess, Rakim, he's pissed and wants an explanation. So Basha, on the spot, just like, this was all Ebo's idea. He made this fake scenario, posing as an imposter himself, not an imposter, an intruder himself, to see how ready Wakanda is. Basha and quote-unquote Ebo fought in here until he revealed himself and his grand plan. Yep, that worked. So now they're working together to see how they can get Jirani back home. And for the most part, that's the episode. Eyes of Wakanda, episode 3. I did not know an Iron Fist was going to be in this show. I think I heard that at some point, but I clearly forgot. So that's cool. We got to see an Iron Fist. It's interesting to see how Marvel, especially, or specifically, Marvel Animation, is doing more Iron Fist, but they are refusing to touch the character of Danny Rand. Just bring back Finn Jones. Have him redeem himself and let him be an actual good Iron Fist. Please! We saw the kid Iron Fist in the What If Season 3 episode where it was the Wild West. That episode sucked. And then we see another animated Iron Fist here. So clearly Marvel wants to use the character of Iron Fist. But they know Danny Rand is established by his Netflix show, and yeah. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Why can't Giratina just be shiny? You know, I haven't done the dishes yet tonight. By the time I finish this, it'll be midnight. Maybe I can still watch Daryl Dixon online before I go to bed. So next time, I should have Daryl Dixon, Arcane, and Eyes of Wakanda. You know, my sister has this obsession with knowing where the dog is all the time. She just tried to call me, that's why I changed, and then she just texted me, "Is he with mom?" Like, she just has to know all the time. I'm not replying to her. The dog is fine, he's safe in the house. You don't need to know where he is every single moment. This will be the last one. And no shinies. Goodbye.